I still remember the exact moment, my heart shattered into pieces on what should have been the happiest day of my life. It was the morning of my wedding. I stood in front of the mirror in my beautiful white gown, heart full of love and nervous excitement. My makeup was done, my hair softly curled, and for the first time in months I felt truly beautiful. Then my mother walked into the room. She looked me up and down, sighed heavily, and said the words that would echo in my mind for years. "Honestly, Sophia, this whole wedding feels like an embarrassment. Your father and I are so disappointed." Those words hit me harder than any slap. My own parents, the people who were supposed to support me the most, had just called my wedding day an embarrassment. My name is Sophia Bennett. I'm 31 years old now, but that day I was 26, deeply in love, and about to marry the man I believed was my soulmate. His name was Lucas, a kind, hardworking man who came from a simple background. He wasn't rich. He didn't have a prestigious last name, but he loved me with a gentleness and honesty my family never understood. My parents, especially my mother, had made their disapproval very clear from the beginning. They wanted me to marry someone with money, status, and better prospects. Lucas was a high school teacher who coached the local soccer team. In their eyes, he was beneath us. That morning, my father joined my mother in the room. He looked uncomfortable but still spoke his truth. "We raised you better than this, Sophia. This wedding, these cheap flowers, that small venue, it's embarrassing for the whole family. People will talk." I stood there frozen, tears threatening to ruin my makeup. The joy I had felt just minutes earlier was completely destroyed. My hands trembled as I clutched my bouquet. But what I didn't know that morning was that this painful betrayal would set in motion a chain of events that would completely change how my family saw me forever. This is the story of how my parents called my wedding an embarrassment, and how everything changed when the truth finally came to light. The wedding ceremony went ahead, but the joy was gone for me. Every smile I gave felt forced. While Lucas looked at me with pure love, I couldn't stop hearing my parents' words echoing in my head. The reception was small and intimate, exactly what Lucas and I could afford and what we both wanted. My parents sat at the main table with tight smiles, barely speaking to anyone. My mother spent most of the evening whispering to relatives, clearly embarrassed by the simple decorations and modest menu. I overheard her telling my aunt, "We offered to pay for a proper wedding, but Sophia insisted on doing it her way. Now look at this, it's just embarrassing." Those words broke something deep inside me. The betrayal wasn't just about the wedding. It was about years of my parents trying to control my life, my choices, and my happiness. They had always pushed me toward wealthy suitors, prestigious careers, and a lifestyle that matched their image. When I chose Lucas and a simpler life built on love instead of status, they saw it as a personal failure. In the months after the wedding, the emotional pain only grew. My mother would make subtle comments during family dinners. "Remember that beautiful venue we showed you? That would have been so much better." Or, "Your cousin's wedding looked so elegant compared to yours." My father was quieter but no less hurtful. He once told Lucas directly, "You know, son, if you had a better job, we could have given Sophia the wedding she deserved." Lucas remained kind and patient, but I could see how their words affected him too. The constant judgment slowly started poisoning our new marriage. I began questioning everything. Was I selfish for choosing love over their approval? Had I ruined my future by disappointing them? The heartbreak was constant. I loved Lucas deeply, but the guilt and shame my parents planted made me feel like I had failed as a daughter. Nights were the hardest. I would lie awake wondering if they were right, if our simple life really was embarrassing. For almost 2 years, I carried that heavy weight. I tried to mend the relationship with my parents, but every visit ended with new criticisms. They refused to fully accept Lucas. They skipped several family events we hosted. The emotional distance grew wider with every passing month. Then, slowly, something inside me began to change. I stopped begging for their approval. I started focusing on building a beautiful life with Lucas. We both worked hard. He continued teaching while I advanced in my marketing career. We saved money, traveled when we could, and filled our small home with love and laughter. But the real turning point came in the 3rd year of our marriage. I had been quietly working on a passion project, a digital marketing agency specializing in helping small local businesses grow. What started as a side hustle slowly began to take off. I poured my heart into it during evenings and weekends. Lucas supported me completely. Within 4 years, my little agency had grown into a successful company with a team of 12 people. We landed several big clients, including some well-known brands in our city. My income surpassed what my parents ever imagined I could earn. Still, I kept most of this success quiet from my family. I was tired of their judgment. I wanted to protect the peace I had finally found with Lucas. But everything changed when my younger sister got engaged. My parents decided to throw her an extravagant engagement party, the kind of celebration they had wished for me. Of course, Lucas and I were invited. I knew it would be another opportunity for comparison and subtle humiliation. What my parents didn't expect was that one of their close friends, a wealthy businessman who had just hired my agency for a major campaign, would also be at the party. That night became the moment when everything changed. The engagement party was held at an upscale country club. My sister looked radiant, and my parents were glowing with pride as they showed off the lavish decorations and 5-course meal. Lucas and I arrived together, holding hands. I wore a simple but elegant dress. We smiled politely and tried to enjoy the evening. Halfway through the night, my mother's close friend, Mr. Richard Caldwell, approached me with a big smile. "Sophia, I've been meaning to find you. Your agency did an incredible job with our rebranding campaign. The results have been outstanding. You've built something truly remarkable." His voice carried across our table. Several heads turned, including my parents. My mother froze mid-conversation. My father looked confused. Mr. Caldwell continued loudly. "I was telling everyone earlier, Sophia's agency is one of the best I've worked with in years. She has a real gift. We're already planning to expand the contract next quarter." The table went quiet. My mother's face turned pale. "Sophia, you have an agency." I looked at her calmly and said, "Yes, Mom. I've been running it for 4 years now. It started small, but it's grown quite well." My father stared at me. "Why didn't you tell us?" I smiled softly, though my heart was racing. "Because every time I shared something important with you, you called it embarrassing or not good enough, so I stopped sharing." The silence that followed was heavy. Mr. Caldwell, unaware of the tension, kept praising my work in front of everyone. He mentioned the revenue growth, the team I had built, and how I had helped his company significantly. My parents sat there, completely exposed. The daughter whose wedding they had called an embarrassment was now running a successful business that even their wealthy friends admired. My mother's eyes filled with tears. For the first time, she looked truly regretful. My father kept glancing between me and Lucas, realizing how wrong they had been about the man I chose and the life I built. Later that evening, my mother pulled me aside. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "Sophia, we were so wrong. We thought we knew what was best for you. We judged Lucas. We judged your choices. We made your wedding day painful when it should have been beautiful. I'm so sorry." My father joined us, his usual confidence gone. "We let our pride destroy what mattered most. Can you ever forgive us?" In that moment, I didn't feel triumphant anger. I felt a quiet sense of justice and deep sadness for the years we had lost. I took a deep breath and replied, "I forgave you a long time ago. I just stopped waiting for your approval. Lucas and I built a good life together, not despite your doubts, but because we believed in each other." The consequences for my parents were gentle but clear. They could no longer hide behind their old judgments. Their friends now saw me differently. The narrative they had built about my poor choices had completely crumbled. Over the following months, my parents worked hard to repair the relationship. They apologized to Lucas. They started visiting our home and truly getting to know the man I married. They even offered to help with a vow renewal ceremony, a proper celebration of our marriage, paid for by them this time, with no strings attached. I accepted, not because I needed their validation, but because I wanted healing for all of us. Today, my marriage to Lucas is stronger than ever. My business continues to thrive, and my relationship with my parents has slowly transformed into something healthier, based on respect instead of control. To anyone watching who has ever been told that your choices, your love, or your dreams are embarrassing or not good enough, never let someone else's limited vision define your worth. Sometimes the most powerful response to betrayal is to quietly build the beautiful life they said you couldn't have. My parents called my wedding an embarrassment. But what they didn't expect was that I would create a life so full of love and success that their words would eventually lose all their power. The greatest justice wasn't making them suffer. It was becoming the woman I was always meant to be, with or without their blessing. Thank you for listening to my story. If your family has ever made you feel small for following your heart, know that you are not alone. Keep building. Keep loving. Your worth was never theirs to decide. Stay strong, stay true to yourself, and remember, sometimes everything changes when you stop waiting for permission to shine. Until next time, hold your head high. Your story is still being written.